Okay, abusua ba makwa aba sonko so edeba POG Media so abusua yembonra yensem. Ken Ofori Atta. There is more interesting moments ahead. Enye easy kra. Attorney General I intervene wa bera case in ma abusua. No Attorney General case na kwa kodi nsema. Ono no de obi a case kodi nsema na chese wono o process o case no e de abere mo court na chese ya prosecute wa ne sa enye asem keto akwa na OSP ne lawyer and I say yes OSP ne lawyer aba abonten e de ensem bi aba betudwa efa Ken Ofori Atta ne wanted na ye declare no na o kasa mu no e na o kasa o ma hand case no over to Attorney General and see ano Attorney General so file document just say omrebe process Ken Ofori Atta ni case na enye easy cry ensem momremo yenko na yenkonkoti ensema ekoso na ansa na yebekọ no ebusua say ensem kan bi afa share comment section mu like na share ma afofron so ensa into me and kabi POG Media so political trending stories make waves in yen so ya di atum say ya de bebremo and don't forget to click on the notification bell so the bear any updates bia ya be drop in POG Media so bia no monsa ebitumi akabi meramase
is joining us on the telephone, but it was trying to get him on Zoom, but we couldn't connect. But he's joining us on the telephone right now, thankfully, to respond to some of the issues that you have raised. He's the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications Division of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Alfred.
Now, first off, why did you, I mean, the Mayo Clinic letter we have has the United States address, but in the wanted notice that you published declaring Ken Ofori Atta wanted, you listed 6 countries on there, talking about the US, UK, South Africa, Guyana, Hong Kong, Cayman Islands. Why?
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me say that it's not every information that, as law enforcement, we may put out for purposes of protecting our investigation. So, if you see a law enforcement agency list jurisdiction, take it to mean that they have intel that may suggest a few other things than you, who is not inside the investigation, will be aware. I would like to address a little confusion in the minds of, I think, lawyers in particular. You know, some lawyers are treating Mr. Ofori Atta as if he's an accused person, which means that Mr. Ofori Atta has been charged, or let me begin with that process. He has been arrested and charged. So they will talk about why the OSP not taking advantage of mutual legal assistance program and go and do video conferencing, blah, blah. The OSP is aware of all these things, but these things are used when a person has been arrested, charged, and placed before a court. As we speak, Mr. Ofori Atta has not been arrested by any law enforcement agency. So the suggestion that we could take Mr. Ofori Atta via Zoom may not apply because we cannot arrest a person through Zoom. We cannot take a caution statement from a suspect through Zoom because the only time you can take a caution statement is when the person has been placed under arrest properly, so-called.
Right.
And let me also address the little issue about trial absentia. If you study our Constitution very well, Article 19.3 details how trial absentia should happen. And the conditions are about 2. It says that when a person, an accused, when we say an accused, it means that you have been arrested, charged, has a disruptive behavior, like that placing him before the court will disrupt proceedings. Or if the person, having been charged, that is, the accused, being placed before court, elects not to come to court at all. So there's a popular case called Kwachi, that is the Republic, which It's like the case on it even ended at Court of Appeal. The whole idea is that the person must be tried in his presence, unless that person facing trial elects to say, I don't want to attend the trial, right? But we also do know that, how about if, so that's why it will even take international court. And it's the same principle across international court of human rights matters. If you take the ICC, for instance, why do you think that they issue arrest warrants for people and put them on Interpol, heads of state, former heads of state? Why? Because they could try them in absentia. So why don't they try them in absentia? But they still insist that they should have been arrested and brought. So if you say Slovakian, Milan Slovak, one of the presidents, after he had been arrested and placed before the ICC, he then elected and said, I won't come to court again. Then they decided to try him in absentia. Why is it a win to me? They not tell Yoko that you have evidence against me, I'll go to court and try me. You don't need me. Why is that today Ghana police have arrested several people, hundreds of people? Why are they not telling Ghana police that, oh, please, if you have evidence against me, go to court and start the process. I don't want to come there. Please, it is not so. Let's not, in our haste of trying to still pin an error on an agency. Agencies are not perfect, but rules are rules, laws are laws. And the OSP has tried to abide by the law. Now, let me address this issue by Akuffo in terms of whether they brought us a medical report or not. Ken Ofori, as we speak today, has not brought us any medical report. What Mr. Ofori has brought us are two things, and I will expatiate on the first one. The first one was that on the 28th, through his lawyers, Mr. Ofori did bring a letter from his lawyers, a very terse letter with no attachment. And the letter just read, and the SP read into the letter, but people may not have paid attention. The letter just said that we want to thank you for your indulgence of our clients. One, they even acknowledge that we have indulged their clients. And then two, they proceeded to say that our clients will not be able to come on June 2nd. Then three, they proceeded to say that our client will go and do a surgery, a cancer surgery. Then four, they said that if the office is so minded, they can meet us and allow us to see his biopsy. What it means that they want us to see his diagnostic procedures. Then the last one, they said that, or alternatively, they can seek permission of the court and allow us to see it. Then there was no other attachment. Then the second letter, which many of you have, before we could see any letter, they had already put it through Assassin Radio to everybody. Apparently, they had filed a supplementary affidavit in an ongoing human rights action that Mr. Ofori had filed against the OSP, in essence trying to say that the OSP cannot declare him wanted without a warrant. Now we are producing court that we wanted to arrest Mr. Ofori based on a warrant from a court. Now they filed a supplementary affidavit apparently on the 27th. But remember, on the 28th, a day before, we were in court with them over an injunction application. They were seeking to injunct us from arresting him without a warrant. And that procedure, when they were there, they never brought it to the attention of the court nor the Office of the Special Prosecutor that they had even filed a supplementary affidavit for their old case, which they filed in March somewhere. Now, this supplementary affidavit, we saw it, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. That's when the bailiff served the office. Now, when we even look at it, it's the same letter they've attached. Now, when you look at it, it's the same letter they've attached, and there is no diagnostic procedures attached. And yet, when you see the letter you just displayed, you see at the tail end that they have enclosed something. They said some medical report and another report. Now, these two reports, they are missing in the entire supplementary affidavit they filed in court. It's not part of it. So the exhibit does not include even that diagnostic procedure. But we are not so minded by these diagnostic procedures because those procedures can even be done in Ghana in 1 hour. If you go to the urologist department at Kolebu here, it can be done in an hour and you just go home. That is why the office has maintained that unless Mr. Ofori has a certified medical report from Mayo that says that he is incapacitated And here, many people don't understand it when we say incapacitated. What we mean is that if somebody says he's sick, it is not a bar not to come before police. The only time you can refuse not to come to police or police will oblige you is when you are unable to say walk. You are bedridden. So we want to know whether Mr. Ofori since February, he has been on hospital bed in Mayo Clinic till 2nd June. Or Mr. Ofori since February has been traveling. We want to know. Because the only time you cannot travel is when you are bedridden. And the OSP is saying that, and that's the context many people don't understand that. We are saying that until we see a medical report that says the Ofori cannot travel, that is the only time we may accept and give him some time. Because then incapacitation crowns everything. But to simply say that you are sick so you can't come, do you know how many people in Ghana are going to Kolebu for diagnostic procedures on cancer every day, and yet they are standing trial in court, they are appearing before the police people? Because the only time you go is the time you have the appointment. In between those times you don't have appointment, you have to appear. And Mr. Ofori will have to appear. That is why we are now enforcing his appearance. So we have done the right thing by placing him on Interpol red notice, which means that we want him arrested. And then we have also started the extradition process. We have written to the Attorney General. It will go through the Attorney General to Foreign Affairs so that he can then be repatriated back to Ghana. So in the long and short, Ghanaians, all the office is doing is now ensuring his attendance. That's all.
But I'm sure that's what you were responding to earlier, that based on the provisions in the Mutual Legal Assistance Act, specific to criminal cases, you could, this is Section 5K, you could have explored, and it is lawful, you could have explored the video conferencing option and even written to the authorities, the United States authorities here in Ghana.
And most especially, the act is not limited to accused persons. It's not correct.
He should show not limited to accused persons.
Not. When you are in investigation,
so you don't need to have accused Ken Ofori or been an accused person before this video conferencing option is explored.
It's not true. Let me answer you, and I'll repeat. I think that the people of Ghana heard me very well, and they understand what I've said. Mr. Ofori has not been arrested.
Yes, I think that's clear.
There is nothing else we will do. You don't know why we need him. Law enforcement agency will write to you and say that we need you for interview. You don't know what happens when you enter the law enforcement office. You have no idea what it is that the OSP wants to do. And I'm saying that we can't take any statement. Who even told Ghanaians that?
Can you, look, listen, can you point to the law? Point to the law specifically.
I know you want to have your day, but
no, I'm just saying point to which section. Which section says that it's only when somebody's been arrested that you can use the Act 807.
Of nothing.
No, don't go there.
Who told you Martin people? And as you've gone on this side, who told you that the OSP wants elite? Hold on, if I can finish. Who told you that the OSP wants?
No, but the specific question was to, I think there was a question that was posed to you. It's not about Martin people specifically. It's a question that was posed to you. Now, what is the specific provision of the law? Does the law back what the position that you are espousing?
Hold on. There's too much talk. I can't hear because I'm on the phone. Those of you in the studio have the advantage of having louder voice and clearer. So if you can let me finish because I'm on the phone.
So I'm asking a question about what specific provision of the law.
I said you have called the provision, and I told you that. Who even told you that the OSP wants Mr. Ofori to write a statement? Who even said that?
But if you don't need him, then what are you doing? What are you doing?
If you don't need him to write a statement, then what's all this about?
Who even told you that it's a caution statement the OSP wants? Because the law is very clear. A person can come to you and decide that you will not even talk.
Yes,
I'm saying that USP says that it wants Mr. Ofori in person. And he has offered to us that he wanted us to take his caution statement. Listen on. Martin is saying something differently because he is saying that he wants us to take his caution statement via video conferencing. And I've just told you that even in law, we cannot take a caution statement if the person has not been arrested. And I've gone on to also show to you that you cannot arrest a person via Zoom, let alone take the caution statement via Zoom. We need Mr. Ofori in person. And it's not true that the OSP has delayed. We have our timeline of investigating. For you, you may think that the OSP has delayed. For us, we may not think we have delayed because we ought to take our time and do. And Ofori is not the only case the OSP is investigating. As I speak to you, over 30 people are on bail. Soon they will be arraigned before court. We have so many things we are doing. So the prosecutor and the investigator has his timelines of what he's doing, and he says that he needs the person to come before him. You don't know why he needs the person. And yes, you have a right to know. But at the appropriate time, when we are now very clear that nothing compromises our investigation, we will inform the people of Ghana. In any case, the OSP stands out as one of the most transparent law enforcement agencies. And all of you can bear testimony to that.
Okay, Mr. Akon, so I want to ask you a question. Since you said you need him, he has a right not to incriminate himself, right? So you can get him, and he still will be silent.
What is in the arrest?
So what would then the arrest be?
I just told you what you just told me, that Mr. Ofori can even decide not to talk. It is not our business.
Yes.
For investigators and prosecutors, that's not our business.
Yes. So what will be the consequence of the arrest?
And you want me to be able to tell you what you need him for? And I'm saying that I cannot even disclose.
There is no. Let's come in this. Mr. Dako, Sabi Dako. Yes. Our constitution doesn't say that, right? You see, when you say arrest is touch and then inform him the offense is committed. That's the arrest, right? Now, he's not here to be touched and informed. What in the constitution prevents us from saying that, listen, so because you are not here physically to be arrested, we are going on that, look, we would, we have a case against you, X, Y, Z. So let's go on to the next process. This touch and inform him. That's the arrest. So in law, touch and inform him that we are taking you for this and that. Do you need to take him into custody before you do anything? What is this restrictive interpretation of the Constitution? Touch him and inform him.
I'm not going to have anything, any banter with you. I'll answer the post now. What you have just said is not new from what I just told you.
But you said with the arrest, you cannot go on with the rest of the process.
You just made a wrong assumption. And I've just told you now that your assumption could not be true.
But that's different from saying that with the arrest, you cannot
do. When I'm talking, please allow me to talk. Give me that chance. You got the chance to say this point over and over. I just had the opportunity to address.
Okay.
So if you could just allow me to address. I've addressed you specifically that Mr. Ofori has requested for his caution statement to be taken on the internet. We have said that throughout the law, if you don't arrest a person, you can't even take a caution statement. You will not now tell us that we should do that, because you are the same people that when we don't follow law, the slightest loophole, lawyers will take advantage of it. Allow us to do our job. We know what we are doing. In fact, we know what we are doing. And nobody is infringing on the right of anyone. Mr. Ofori, if he's not incapacitated, should be able to attend to a law enforcement agency. There are several things that happen inside. You have no idea what happened when Wuntumi entered Iyoko. You have no idea. You may assume. Allow the investigators to do their job.
Under the scope of
was it touching? I have to go. But
yes, but then I know you're doing. So yes, I know you're doing like this. But there's a quick intervention I wanted to make. Just a quick one.
No, not a, give me my time.
You have your time, but.
Okay, abusuya we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway so eye OSP kisi ejaben ne lawyer na yete ne nka o kasa enye asam keto akra o my much details on Ken Ofori ni case na enye easy crisis ano case no akodi attorney general onso attorney general eba be process ni case no yense momre be demase se moje pene kokoti sa audio no ede mi POG Media so political trending stories are make waves ni so ya atum se be brem be demase